Attention! Hot students, stand at attention! Today's lesson, we will review the military. We will review definition papers. We will look at how you can describe information, and very succinctly, this is different than persuasion. We do not want people to think things. This is authoritative. Do you understand? So, one thing we'll talk about, what games, movies, books have you played, seen, read about the military? Call of Duty fans, this is your opportunity. What are some different types of people in the military? And do you know anyone in the military? Actually, yeah, that's better. Okay. So our standards, our objectives, we're going to look at some real-world events. Not so much contrast here. We'll learn about writing definition paragraphs, and you can consider some careers. So here are some possible branches of the military: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard. There's also the Weather Service. To make things easy, we are just going to do 3 of these: Army, Navy, and Marines. So quick review, this will be on the lesson below. Be sure to know this information. The largest branch is the Army. They mainly do things on land. The Navy, they have the most boats and ships, handle things in oceans and seas. Air Force, they have most of the airplanes and jets, but not all of them. I should move this over, excuse me. The Marines, I moved this over, you can see pictures of Marines. This is one of our vocabulary words: amphibious, like a frog, like a salamander. They go from water, they go straight to land. They can do that. They work with the Navy. They use a lot of the Navy's gear, but they are a separate branch, and they make fun of each other a lot. The Coast Guard, kind of like the Navy, except they only go near the United States. They don't tend to leave very much. If there's a storm, they're the ones who help out. If there's another disaster, they get involved. But the National Guard, they protect the country from things inside the borders. They don't go off to Iraq very often. They don't go off doing other things. If there's a problem in the United States, they're here to protect it. If Godzilla attacks, they're the guys out there shooting Godzilla. So for this lesson, we're going to look at definition paragraphs, which I put in here. You take a thing, an idea, you explain what it is. So something is defined as a type. You're going to write what's such a paragraph at the end. I use things from the Army as an example. Some students said they were interested in military careers. So one group, if you're thinking about just getting some training, the Army's a good option. They're the largest. See, notice I gave a descriptive paragraph about the Army's careers. Okay, this is our focus right here. It's about the careers of the Army. Whoops, let's go back. So if you join, you can receive training in anything from healthcare to music. Seriously, they do have a music program, any instrument. You can join the JAG Corps, become a lawyer. If you want to just be a really tough guy, you can join the Green Berets and the Rangers, part of their special forces. This guy, that's green. Trust me, it's green. He's a Green Beret. He's really tough. And some people just want to get a real job as a mechanic, healthcare worker, police officer or something, but still want the training. They can join the Army's reserves. They usually don't get sent out that often, but they do get the training, and usually it's just once a month they have to get involved. So what was our main idea? What was that about? Army careers. Careers in the Army. Some examples. Well, look at these pictures. We got the JAG Corps. We got the musicians. We got the Green Berets. Did I try to persuade you to join the Army? No, I didn't want to. I just wanted to show you those are some options. If you think it's a good idea, that's up to you. And real quick, I know a lot of you guys play Call of Duty in those games. If you want to be a sniper, just so you know, pay much more attention to the math teacher. Their sniping is pretty much all math. I know in the video games you just line up a red circle and shoot, but in the real world, you got to figure a lot of more things going on. So our vocabulary, we had civilians, people who weren't in the military, like teachers, usually. There are some teachers who are also reservists. So reserves, people are things that are used later, waited on. So the Navy, they use many different types of ships to protect America's interests in oceans around the world. Here's the largest, these aircraft carriers, about the size of a city. Check out those little white things, those are airplanes. There are also smaller ones for ship-to-ship fights, the cruisers and destroyers. Then there are the submarines. They go underwater and can shoot missiles, sink enemy boats. They launch, shoot, throw up. So if you enlist in the Navy, you could be a part of one of the crews on these ships. Crew should be a vocabulary word, I'll fix that. So what is this paragraph about? I focused on the ships. Some examples. I put in this big thing, I put in these smaller things, and do we have submarines on this? I don't think so. Submarines are much smaller. So one more branch to look at for description, the Marines. So notice I'm not telling you everything about the Navy. I didn't tell you everything about the Army. The Army, I just focused on the careers. The Navy, I just focused on the boats. There's much more to it than that. But the Marines, I'm just going to focus on how to become one. They have a reputation for being the toughest men in the military. You must be at least 17, not 177. I'll fix that. But no older than 28. You need a high school diploma or GED. For a man, you must do at least 2 pull-ups, pull up your whole body, 44 sit-ups, and run 1.5 miles at 13 minutes and 30 seconds or less. Then you have to go through 13 weeks of training. Most people don't make it through the Marines. It's really hard to get into for that reason. So thus this time we just focused on how to become a Marine. And I gave some examples. So reputation, what set or bleed, recruit, someone who joins something, Marine recruits. So your assignment, you're going to write definition essay. It could be about a job you want to have, a game you like to play. Okay, you just have to give me something, take an angle on it. One good job would be such and such. I would like to be a such and such because they do so and so. One game I love to play is Pac-Man. It's a game with, this game has several mazes that makes you think. The ghosts are kind of scary too. So you don't want to persuade me. You're just going to tell me about this. You're just going to give me information. It could be something from another class. Hey, let me tell you about this Pythagorean theorem. Hey, let me tell you what Mr. Wolcott told me about World War I. Anything like that. So you have to come up with something, just figure out how to write it. How is up to you. So vocabulary review, amphibious, civilian, reserve, launch, enlist, recruits, reputations, borders, and I'm going to accrue to that list. And that's all for this video. I'll see you in the live class, I hope. If not, you can catch me in the cafe.